Good evening, it's Jess. So this week's discussion is targeted around my guilty pleasure because although I shouldn't, there are a couple of shows on this list and a few of my own that I may or may not have a minor obsession with. Just because I feel like I live a very quiet life now. And it's almost kind of watching vicariously about what big rambunctious lives look like. So I'm really excited about this discussion. I think just because it is such a debate, reality television, what's true, what's not true, what's just for cameras, why? But there's the other side of if it is true, then how's it affecting their lives? And so I think I will start with just the very top question. It says, how have these shows engaged their audience, thus resulting in popularity? So I think, and a couple of these on here, things like The Real World, The Bachelor, there's also Listen to Your Heart, which is from The Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, things like 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. I think the biggest thing is that they started with a platform. So for the Bachelor or The Bachelor in Paradise or Listen to Your Heart, they started on this foundation of they want to help people find love, right? That's what the whole thing is supposed to be about. So I think that they capture some people with that piece of it. It's, oh, look at this show. We're going to give people the opportunity to find love. We're going to give them the opportunity just for this whimsical fairy tale. But I think that another way that this happens and the way that they engage their audience is for those who aren't simply on there for the tagline of finding love. I think ultimately at the end of the day, a lot of it is there's drama and there's some comedy behind it, and there's some pieces that just catch people's attention because it's either so outlandish that it's almost not believable, or you sit back and you wonder, why do they do that, or why do they put up with that, or just those different pieces. So I think for some, when it comes to reality TV, they go into it reading the initial thought behind it and saying, oh, that's so wonderful. I really hope that he chooses so-and-so because I think that it's this wonderful love story. But then others go into it saying, so what's happening this week? What's going on this week? Ooh, so-and-so said this or so-and-so said that. And I think it's a combination of it all. Then the next question is, what needs and desires do the shows capitalize to keep the audiences engaged? I think I touched on that just a little bit. You have several different types of people coming into these shows. Like, for instance, I talked about 90 Day Fiance. There are some people who truly do engage in long distance and different country relationships. And that's something that people are fascinated by is watching others who may share their same story. There are others who look at it just from a love story standpoint and root people on to truly find their happiness and find their person. Again, I mean, there's the side of it that's simply there for the entertainment piece. There is pieces of it that are simply there to provide entertainment, to provide comedy, to provide the drama that some people are looking for, and why some people watch reality television. What can we learn about building influence from toxicity created by these shows? I think, and I'll tie this into the current Sphere project. So when I started my Sphere project, it was based around wanting to create a platform for encouragement of not just single moms, but single dads too, and just individuals, even non-children having people who have faced trauma in their past and have grown through it and providing an outlet for them to find strength in themselves, to find strength in others, and I want to inspire people. I won't go into a whole lot of it, but I have dealt with things like domestic violence. I have dealt with things like assault. I have dealt with growing up in a single parent household, my other parent being addicted to drugs and alcohol. And so there has been so many pieces of my story that the intent behind me sharing my story is absolutely to inspire people. My concern is that how will others who are involved in my story then run with it? Will I have people who will comment negatively? Will I have people who will create drama? Will I have people who will run back and tell so-and-so that I said this or I said that? I think my entire concern is taking something with such pure intent and others becoming involved, and the toxicity that can be created by others' input or others having an opinion. I don't want that. I don't want it to become a negative space. I don't want it to become a woe is me, oh my goodness, or I can't believe you said that. I don't want it. I want something that has a solid foundation and is a platform for strength and encouragement and a safe space for people to share, people to engage, and people to want to be involved and encourage each other. How much truth and reality are we actually seeing in these shows? So I think I haven't questioned it nearly as much as I do right now. And I don't know why. I think it's just, we've been sitting at home for how many months now? And on weekends, we don't have the ability to go out. So I think a lot of people are binge watching. And so it makes us really kind of think about what we're watching. So I think I'm a big believer. I'm a big fan of The Bachelor. I appreciate the host. I think he's a genuine person, and I truly think that he goes into these shows with the greatest intent of just having people find love. And I think you have a lot of incredible influencers who come out of that show. But I think the tagline of it is accurate. I think the pieces of, we want to help these people find love, we're helping to create connections, that's truth. But I think the reality of the situation is that you're putting 20 people, 20 females or 20 males into a house, and not everybody's there for the same intent, and not everybody is there for the truest of reasons, and some people just have different personalities, aren't going to click, and that's where your reality comes from. That's where your drama comes from. That is where this goes from being this very, okay, here's this cool platform, and then you throw personalities, and you throw complications, and you throw this, and you throw that. Now, how much of that is staged? How much of that is created for TV? That's the other part of it you have to think about. And I struggle. There are some pieces where I think you can look and you can see that person truly is going through something real. And then there are other pieces that you feel are so fabricated and so outlandish that you're just like, did that really happen? Or is that a scenario that was created? And so I think that these might start out, some of them do start out simply for the drama and for the reality TV of, ooh, we want to make this really cool show, and we want people to get involved, and we want this, and we want that, and the more outlandish it can get, the better, because it just creates good TV. But I do think that there are others that have true intent, but then it's the people who get involved that turn it into the reality. In what ways are the participants in these reality shows our neighbors? So it's really funny because I always, when talking to people or getting to know people, I always look for people I can connect with, right? You always want to be able to connect with somebody's heart, with somebody's soul, with somebody's intent, or just their story or their background or similar interests. So there are several times where I have seen somebody on TV and they're talking about a story, and I'm like, hey, like, I've been there. I've done that. Like, I've experienced that. I understand what you're saying. There are some really, I think, genuine, down to earth people in the last couple of seasons of The Bachelor. There have been people from Denver, and there have been experiences that they show on the show where it's like, I've been there, I've done that, like I've driven past there, or I've spent time at that restaurant, or I've done this, or I've done that. So no matter the reality status of a TV, these people are human. These people have a story. These people have families. These people have backgrounds. They simply were given an opportunity or created an opportunity to develop this reality TV star persona or level. But I think all of them at the end of the day are human. All of them at the end of the day, whether they accept it, whether they believe it, whether they are active in it, are children of God. And they are all born from one creator. So I think just remembering and just looking past here's this drama of this day, or so-and-so did this, and saying, that's John, or that's Mary, or that's Sue, and she's a human. He's a human. And when you take away the layers of the reality TV, or you take away the layers of these personas that they're playing or they're attempting to play, and ultimately at the end of the day, they could be somebody who lives next door to you. They could be somebody that you're related to. They could be somebody who you relate to. They're human. And the reality versus the truth of the situations are different. So, yeah. Now, will that skew my ability to still binge watch these shows at times? No, because I think I'm somebody who, like I said, with The Bachelor, I have a connection. Just I like the general concept behind it, and I love cheering on these couples. Things like The Real World started out, I think, as a really honest show during its original production. They had some true stories on there, and just real life just real life scenarios. They had households where they had somebody who was diagnosed with AIDS and HIV, and he was a huge influence on the network. And his story really kind of helped to begin these things. But as the world changes, and as our social medias and our reality TVs grow, these stations or these producers had to grow with time. So I think it started with good intent, and I just think that it's grown to be what it needs to be in order to remain popular in today's world. I think it depends on the audience you're attempting to captivate, but I think in today's world with quote unquote millennials and those pieces, I do think that they had to adjust their broadcasting ideas and their topics in order to engage with what today's world looks like. So I super appreciate you taking the time to watch. I know I become a chatty Cathy with these, but this was a super awesome topic, and I'm excited to see what others come up with. Have a great night.